on the actual day of your Mcat, you're very likely to get a question on variables. However, I just want to mention that this is a super low yield topic, and if you do get a question on this, it's probably only going to be one question. So I'm about to take you through all of the variables that they might test you on. So starting with the first variable, an independent variable. So this is a variable whose variation does not depend on that of another variable. So when you see independent variable or a question asking you about which of the following are independent variables, for instance, you want to be thinking, what are the researchers changing on purpose? Now, very common independent variables, these are going to be things like gender, race, age, and income. And as for a dependent variable, this is a variable whose value is dependence on another variable. And when you see dependent variable, you want to ask yourself this question: what are the researchers measuring as an outcome? So as an example, here is an experiment where researchers are testing the effect of caffeine on endurance, but for the sake of simplicity, I'll say the effect of caffeine on strength, right? So what would the independent variable be here? So remember that an independent variable is a variable which its variation does not depend on that of another. So this is going to be things like gender, race, age, income. They don't really vary when affected by another variable. So these are going to be your independent variables. And as for your dependent variable, this is going to be a variable whose value is going to be dependent on another variable. So this would be something like, for example, you being able to lift more or having greater endurance because of that caffeine. So the amount of endurance or the amount of strength that you have gained would be your dependent variable, because that's what you're measuring as an outcome.